Hi, it's Marlene Dillon Empowerment Specialist. I am actually sitting on my front porch, so you may hear people drive by with loud music as if on cue. You may hear people yelling at their children. You may hear other interesting hood sounds. It happens. And the cicadas are periodically humming us a tune. So I want to get on here real quick to talk about communication with our children. I would love for you to embrace a really quick acronym called FACE. So the first one is FACE, literally FACE. I chose FACE as the first one so you would remember the acronym. Okay, so FACE is, what are you doing with your face? Like when they're talking to you, what is your facial expression? How are you paying attention, or are you like, are you rolling your eyes? Are you doing that really face? Are you doing the I really don't believe you face? Or the would you hurry up and get to the point face? All of that. So pay attention to what you're doing with your face. And one of the ways that, like, if you're kind of in a bad mood or you're exhausted or whatever, that you can relax your eyebrows, relax your forehead. That's a really good one. Take a deep breath. And one way to do the breathing is for you to, that's hilarious. One of the ways for you to do, to adjust your breathing is for you to pretend you're smelling a flower, or if you like flowers, or pretend you're, like, if you have allergies, like, don't picture that. Pretend you're drinking, that you have like the most amazing cup of coffee, or a chocolate cake, whatever, a bucket of wings. I don't care what it is. But like that first inhale when you're about to enjoy something amazing, picture that and do the but do it without being all extra, because your kid's gonna be looking at you like you're crazy if you're doing like all of that. But just just give yourself that type of breath where your whole body relaxes, and listen. So the next one, so F is for face, A is for agree, meaning when you're having a conversation with your child, that you're not focused on you're listening to hear, you're not listening to argue, you're not listening to respond, you're listening to understand, you're listening to hear what they have to say, rather than listening to argue with them, to contest what they're saying, to create a rebuttal. So listen to hear, not to argue. So A is for agree. So the reason I chose agree is because when you're actually agreeing with somebody, like, if you're talking with that friend and they dislike the same person you dislike, everything they say, you're like, yeah, me too. Because you're with them, as opposed to when you're talking to that person who owes you money, or that person who always lies, or whatever, that family member that everybody hates. You have a completely different experience, and your face is showing something completely different. Your energy is something different. But if you have the energy of I agree with you, then you are actually listening, you are engaged, you are coming from a totally different place. And as far as the agreeing, it's not that if they're doing something wrong that you agree with that, or that you want to communicate like, I totally am okay with you stealing the car last night. It's more about, I am here to hear your reasoning. I am here listening to you. So F is for face. What are you doing with your face? A is for agree. Listen as if you agree with them, even if you don't agree with them. Part of communication is being able to empathize and to find ways to understand the other person's perspective. It's not always about your perspective. So make an attempt to listen, and maybe you can find some common ground. Like, maybe you didn't realize the reason why they do the thing they do is actually something that you would support. And you're not going to find that out by constantly looking for ways to argue with them. And your kid's not going to want to talk to you if you're always arguing with them. C, catch a bubble. So for C, I chose catch a bubble. I used to work in a school. And I would see, like, when the kids would go, like, they're walking down the hall, and in that school system, everybody had to be completely silent in the hallways. So some of the teachers, when their kids were passing, like to go to a bathroom break as a group or going to the cafeteria, the kids had to catch a bubble, which means like to fill their cheeks with air and shut their mouth, because you can't like hold the air in your mouth and still be talking at the same time. So they would catch a bubble. And when you do that, literally don't like, you know, have your cheeks out. Like, is that Louis Armstrong? I think that was Louis Armstrong. Don't have your cheeks all like big out like that or whatever. But hold air. Hold air so that you aren't talking. Like, keep yourself from interrupting them, so that they will feel free to speak, and you can and you'll probably learn more about them and their motivations for doing things by listening. Okay, so C is catch a bubble, so stop interrupting them and actually listen. So F is for face. What are you doing with your face? A is agree, listen to hear, not argue, and C is catch a bubble. And E, this is a very special one, and this is going to be a good challenge for you and me, because I'm a mom, I have a tween. So E is for, I'm not like a bug person and they're like all around me. Yeah, so you see me like, I'm not going crazy, it's like mosquitoes and stuff. So E is for every time. Every single time that you talk to your child, every time you interact with your child, before they leave your presence, communicate love. You want to communicate love. You don't want to communicate I hate you, which is what unfortunately we do more often than not. There's a lot of communicating. I'm so annoyed by you. You're irritating. You make a lot of mistakes. You disappoint me. So from now on, we want to make sure that before they leave our presence, I don't care if you were just yelling, before they leave your presence, that you communicate love. And it doesn't have to be I love you. It doesn't have to be a hug. It can be, if you joke with your child, like I joke a lot with my child, we have a mutual understanding that being weird is a good thing. So I might have been in a bad mood. I might have been kind of crabby or whatever. I'm human. But before she leaves, I might say, you know, with your weird self, get out of here, you know, but it's all in fun. Or, you know, I might laugh at the end of it, even, you know, like maybe she was just driving me nuts for fun. She does that all the time. To just let that be okay and just tell her, like, thank you for coming to annoy me, but I do it with a smile. So she knows that it is not, you really find me annoying. It's like, oh, I successfully annoyed her. Are you kidding me, fly? So remember, face. What are you doing with your face is F for face. A is agree. You want to communicate that you agree with them. C is for catch a bubble. And E, and so catch a bubble, you already know. That means stop talking so you can listen. And E is for every time. Every single time that you interact with your child, communicate love. I know I'm like touching my face and everything so much, but it's like bugs attacking me. So okay, so thank you all. This is a real quick, totally not polished video, but I just wanted to get the information to you, and I'm sure that you will forgive me. And of course, you know, future videos will be all awesome and edited eventually, maybe. All right, have a great night.